Hello, today we're going to talk about the different aspects of the play How I Learned to Drive, based on the 6 Aristotelian elements of a successful play.
Those aspects are plot, music and song, character, spectacle, theme, and language.
First, we're going to talk about the effective use of Aristotle's necessary criteria for the plot of How I Learned to Drive. The plot is not straightforward, rather it's a variety of flashbacks and monologues that help set up the complexity of the story. Throughout the play, the main character has to deal with her relationship and feelings towards her uncle, as well as the relationship of others in her unsupportive family. Little Bit and Uncle Pet gave each other affection because of their shared feelings of being outsiders. Their relationship continues even when Uncle Peck falls in love with her and starts to sexually assault her, until Little Bit heads off to college where the relationship becomes strained. Uncle Peck's affection becomes overbearingly psychotic, forcing Little Bit to end the relationship while he wants to marry her. Even though the storyline was unorthodox, the play would be successful, according to Aristotle, in the fact that it clearly defines problems that the characters could solve.
The second Aristotelian element of a successful play is character. Paula Vogel, the playwright, creates the characters so that you unintentionally get attached to them. Every character in the play, from her peers in school to her large extended family, had a big and lasting effect on Little Bit as well as the audience. Aunt Mary's lack of ability to address a situation and talk to her husband makes Little Bit's life harder since nobody knows what's going on between her and Uncle Peck. Her mother and grandmother's differing opinions on women's sexuality add to Little Bit's confusion in her situation, but they also add some comic relief to the overall deep play. Little Bit's classmates and grandfather only focus on her developed physical features rather than her intelligence and personality, which makes Little Bit just an object rather than a person with any substance. Lastly, even though Uncle Peck commits morally wrong actions, making Little Bit deal with so much throughout her life, you still feel bad and connect with him because of his backstory. The overwhelming feelings you have towards each individual character depicts the overall successfulness according to the second Aristotelian element.
The third element is song and music. Although there is not much singing or music in the play, the upbeat and catchy songs the chorus sang help bring some relief to the darkness of the play. The other sounds of the play brought a variety to it. For example, the crickets chirping created a sense of a warm, quiet summer night.
The fourth of Aristotle's elements is spectacle. The spectacle in How I Learned to Drive was generally very simple. The set, the costumes, and the actors, for example, rarely changed in the entirety of the play. The consistency of each aspect mirrored the ever-present situation between Little Bit and Uncle Peck. The biggest changes in scenery were the TV screen and lighting, which worked together to help create the mood. The simplicity of the scenery added some confusion, but overall was very successful.
The fifth of Aristotle's 6 elements, language, was successful in the play How I Learned to Drive, as it utilized both narrative and dramatic dialogue. An example of narrative dialogue would be when Little Bit's mother drunkenly explains the correct mannerisms of drinking on a date. This narrative played directly into the situation Little Bit was facing at the moment with Uncle Peck, but it also gave the audience something funny to listen to. On the other hand, dramatic dialogue occurs frequently, especially between Little Bit and Uncle Peck. Whenever they talk, Uncle Peck pushes the limits between right and wrong, but his overall intentions of love, however creepy towards Little Bit, are shown to the audience and Little Bit through his language. Another example of how language allows characters to express their thoughts and feelings is shown through the grandfather's diction and slang when he talks to the other characters. His language shows his outdated values and beliefs.
The sixth of Aristotle's critical elements is theme. The play had an obvious theme about the sexual abuse of women in incestual relationships. But if you look deeper, you also find that it was about growth, maturing over time, and overcoming obstacles in life. Throughout the play, the audience watches Little Bit go from an innocent young girl to an adolescent trying to understand the implications of her predicament, to an adult wisely looking back on her life. The overall theme is successful because of how it relates to everyday life. Not everyone in life has this level of difficulty and drama, but everyone has situations in their life that need to be conquered. And those are the 6 Aristotelian elements of a successful play in relation to How I Learned to Drive.
Thanks for listening.